We had a unit on philosophy, so we are doing these shadow puppet plays to kind of encompass everything that we learned and put it into like a story to, you know, kind of highlight enlightenment. And it's kind of cool because we're doing shadow puppet plays, so we're using light and it's about enlightenment.
Each student had a different role in the group. So every student had to design a puppet, and then one student was in charge primarily of the setting. And so whether they were going to use a box theater or a projector.
We had some people come in and talk to us on how there's different methods of making puppets. Like this is just a simple one where it's a few hinges and then 2 sticks. Then there's some really nice ones where they were really detailed.
I went online and basically found that there was a San Diego Guild of Puppetry. They were really responsive and helpful in helping me think about how to do the project, and they came into my class and helped teach the students a little bit about the history behind shadow puppetry and showed how shadow puppetry is a legitimate art form in so many different cultures around the world.
They brought in what's called a box theater, where it's a screen and then you have a light kind of behind you and at an angle, so the light's shining onto the screen but it doesn't get you in the light, and you have shadow puppets that you put up to the screen. And then we have another one where we have like a sheet hanging from the roof and we use an overhead projector, and that's what we're using.
And then another role was the person who was responsible for the plot.
So our story was like based on the characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and we had to connect it to one of the philosophies. And the philosophy we chose was Siddhartha, about like
through experience, how he learned enlightenment through experience. His experience was that he learned about Christmas because he didn't know. He comes from the Halloween town.
Another role was the student was responsible for the audio. So whether that was music, whether that was recording different voices and tracking it in Audacity, which is the software we were using.
We're kind of satiring Plato. We wrote the story about this crab teaching the philosophies of Plato to the pirate, and they both kind of go a little crazy, like act really crazy because, you know, we're satiring it, we're making the philosophy sound really out there, you know, kind of exaggerating it. The 9th graders coming in was definitely a wake-up call because it was the first time we actually had a live audience watching our play.
It also helped for feedback because the 9th graders themselves gave us feedback and critiques, and it helped us tell us what we should improve for the actual play.
I really like the way these roles work together because no one really went off into their own world and said, well, I'm doing audio, so it doesn't matter what you guys are doing, because the audio has to mix with the set, has to mix with the plot. So it was a nice way to kind of have each one have their own part that they were responsible for and assessed on, but then they all connected together. The thing that surprised me most definitely was the variety of different shadow puppet plays and where the students could go with it. From those really intricate Nightmare Before Christmas puppets to simple robots. I think they enjoyed doing some pretty rigorous content and then having such a fun kind of vehicle to play with it in.
For more information, visit hightechhigh.org.